Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Friday, June 14th. It's Flag Day. I have a flag. I like flying my flag, and I like just the plain old flag. I don't need any extra messages. So anyone else who has got a message flag, not interested. I like the regular old flag. Anyway, happy Flag Day and happy everything else day. It is our Friday focus today, and you guys, I have loved having this real interesting way of kind of grouping together questions. And today's Friday focus, we're calling it finding the right advisor. You know, it's kind of like maybe finding the right mate. You know, how do you know that this is the one, you know? And you know when you know, but also we are here to try to help you out. So if you want to know whether or not the person you're currently working with is the right person for you, or maybe you're doing it yourself and you want to talk to somebody else. I recently got a call from a friend of mine who, she got divorced, and a friend of hers, I think she dated him, maybe, I'm not sure, was taking care of some of her financial stuff. And I said, well, what does he do for you? She goes, he just like holds stocks, buys some funds. I said, but it sounds like you need financial planning. She goes, I know, I sort of feel like I do. So then we went through the whole process. I had to explain to her the difference between someone who sells you stuff or executes stuff for you and somebody who actually does full financial planning. And there's a big difference between the two. So if you've got a question that falls into this category, or maybe there's something else going on in your financial life, go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, complete the form. And if you'd like to join us on the air live, then check that box. And also, while you're on the website, you've got to subscribe to Jill on Money Live. Our next webinar, it is coming up. It's just around the corner, Tuesday, June 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be talking to none other than the expert on Social Security, Heather Schreiber. And she's going to help us figure out how to navigate claiming strategies. She's also going to help us really help you understand the difference between claiming at 62 and 67 and 70, and why waiting can be so beneficial. We're also going to talk about whether or not the Social Security system is going to change dramatically. I know a lot of people who are under the age of 50 have that concern. So we're going to do that with Heather. And that is all on June 25th, but only if you fork over $35 to join Jill on Money Live. You'll get the Heather webinar, 3 more after that. You'll get to watch the back catalog and special video content that lives behind our paywall. So check it out. All right. So we are talking about how to find the right advisor. Let's do some emails. This is from Mike. I always feel bad to read this the way it's written, but here it is. I'm not reading it just because of this. But hi, Jill and Mark. Your show is awesome. It's very funny. I listen to you all the time on walks with my dog and on the way to and from work. I appreciate the sound advice over the years. I'm writing about my mother, who is 82 years old and still feeling young and healthy, aside from some high blood pressure, which is hereditary. She takes great care of herself. She eats right. She exercises, and I think she probably could live to 100. Her parents both lived long lives. Her mother, 96, her father, 88. After my father passed away almost 3 years ago, she collects $4,000 a month in Social Security and pension. She has no mortgage. She has no debt. She spends approximately all of that $4,000 a month on living expenses, shopping, travel, eating out, and other various endeavors. Okay, she's got about $50,000 in her credit union checking account, $75,000 in a 4% CD, which is coming due in November. She's got a rollover IRA worth $874,000, a brokerage account worth $327,000. The IRA and brokerage accounts are invested mostly in money markets since my dad's passing, because I didn't know where else to put them without fear of losing money that she might need to live on for the next 15 years. She takes automatic quarterly required minimum distributions from the IRA that roll directly to the brokerage account in the money market. She owns her home. It's a townhouse, and she's next door to her brother and his family. The townhouse is worth $400,000. I have a few questions. 1, does she have enough money to live the rest of her life comfortably doing the things she loves? I find myself worried about large purchases she says she wants to make, like a new car, 65 grand. Yes, she still drives. Well, she's only 82. I'm not going too crazy. Okay. Second question. Should I invest the IRA or brokerage in a different mix for her to be more aggressive, or has she already won the game? Should I be worried about inflation? 3, my own advisor charges me 1.15% of assets under management. And he said he would assume the responsibility of managing her assets, the 1.2 million in brokerage and IRA, and charge her 0.75% as a family member of mine. Should I do this? I feel like her situation isn't that complicated that it would warrant paying $9,000 or $10,000 a year for advice. That might be a set it and forget it type of situation, but I don't really know. Lastly, does she need to put her home in a revocable trust, or does a will naming my brother and me as 50-50 heirs suffice? Thank you in advance for the assistance. I hope I didn't leave anything out. Okay. All right, Mike. So let's get to the nut of this. The reason why you might want to consider working with an advisor would be so that you get the allocation right and that you don't feel like you're messing anything up. Now, it doesn't mean that she has to go to your advisor. In fact, she may be able to work with a robo-advisor, meaning it sounds like you're kind of doing it, but she may be able to put the allocation on an automatic process that would keep her invested a little bit more aggressively. I want to be clear. When you ask them the question, does she have enough money to live the rest of her life comfortably doing the things that she loves? She spends the $4,000 now. I presume, although I'm not certain, that the pension has a cost of living adjustment. So if that $4,000 does kind of go up with the rate of inflation, that's fine. But as you're finding, when you have a large expense like a car or something were to go wrong in the house, you'd have to take a big chunk of money out. So I think it's okay to have a slug in cash. I do believe that rollover IRA should actually be invested. And again, you may not have to pay 0.75%. You could certainly pay something closer to a quarter or 0.3% to just use some sort of automatic investing platform, because I do think she doesn't have to be aggressive, but I'd love her to beat the inflation rate with her money, because what's going to happen is interest rates are going to fall and she's going to end up going backwards a little bit. So we want to grow her money faster than the rate of inflation, which is why anyone invests in the first place. So I think that actually finding yourself an advisor is maybe not the place where she needs to be. She doesn't need financial planning, but using a service on a platform where the investing can sort of set it and forget it for you instead of you being responsible for it, I think that could work for you. I really do. I don't think she needs to put her home in a revocable trust, but if she does not do that or go into a personal residence trust, if she doesn't do that, just know that the house will end up going through probate. And I mean, it depends how much of a pain in the neck that could be for you guys. I hope that helps. And hopefully you'll let us know like what happens. I'm intrigued to hear like what comes next for you. This one is from Nick, and the subject is annuity, to buy or not to buy. Hi, Jill. I've recently started listening to your podcast when I walk my dog. Listen to this. I'm walking everyone's dogs with them. I feel great. Okay. Recently, someone asked you a question about annuities, and now I have an annuity question as well. I want to know if it is something I should purchase. I'm 62. My work provides a pension. That's so important. I'm going to work until I'm 65. My husband is semi-retired. Our financial advisor recommends that I take $200,000 from my $700,000 401k and buy a Core Bridge Assured Edge Income Builder Elite FA. Mark, the names of these products, my goodness, that is quite a mouthful. So we'll get back to that in a second. Insurance companies, you got to come up with easier names for these. Jeez. Okay. The advisor, I'm putting advisor in air quotes right now, Mark, says we should have 75% guaranteed retirement income. We have 65% right now. And with the annuity purchase, we'd have 75% guaranteed. It sounds like a good idea. I'm not sure. I read the hypothetical illustration and some of it goes right over my head. Please let me know what I should do as I am confused. Well, then I think the insurance company has done their job. They have fully confused you and it sounds almost good. And therefore, that is what would lead you to do this. I, however, do not think you need this. First of all, can you please ask your financial advisor what is the 75% guaranteed retirement income formula fairy that has come to bring this down to you? 65% of your need being covered by your pension is unbelievable. And I'm not exactly sure why you would actually need to take $200,000 from your precious 401k and plunk it into this account. The money, once it goes in there, it does create a stream of income, but then you have no control over it. And frankly, $700,000, you're 62. It's good money. It's not a tons of money, and I would want control over it. Has the advisor, in quotation marks, actually told you how much it costs to do this? And I mean really costs. What kind of annuity is this? Is this an immediate annuity where I put the money in and immediately start receiving income? What is the cost to me? Why is this better than just taking money out of my 401k, slowly but surely retaining control and being able to turn the faucet on and off when I want to do it? I actually am unclear whether this is in your best interest or not. It would be interesting for me to learn whether or not your advisor has illustrated anything else. Like, what are the alternatives? That's a good question to ask. Why would I do this? Why would I pay to do this when I could just have an index portfolio where I'd pull the money out that I need every year and it would cost me a fraction of this, and I would also have control over the asset? Let's get some answers. Okay, we are talking about how to find the right advisor, and we are taking emails from you guys. So let's take the next one. This is from Mark, whose message is paralysis by analysis. Okay, Mark, let's hear it. Mark says, I've been listening to your podcast for the past 2 years on my daily 1.5 hour commute, and I receive your weekly newsletter. Thank you so much. I love that. By the way, everyone should subscribe to the newsletter. Okay, Mark goes on to write, I value your advice on life and finances. And as the title indicates, I'm confident in the fact that I should make a change, but I have not made it. I chose my current advisor based on his being well-versed in my employer's benefits. And I hope that he would provide insight beyond my knowledge. He has invested in 17 to 21 funds. God, in our IRA, Roth, and brokerage accounts. That's just a lot of funds. Okay, let me go on. As I will be retiring in September of 25, I would like to find a fee-only fiduciary to review our asset allocation, maybe to reduce my fees, and also look at our returns and risk, tax planning, distribution strategy, as well as advise on Social Security and pension choices. Sounds like a perfect candidate for a financial plan. Okay, Mark goes on to write, my wife is 57 and is retired. Her pension is $39,000 a year net. I am 60. My yearly income is $124,000. We currently contribute $8,000 each to our Roths. I'm maxing my 457 at $30,500. Our assets are her IRA, which is $264,000, Roth $68,000, my IRA $473,000, Roth $181,000, Roth $457,000, $100,000, joint brokerage about $170,000, emergency funds $15,000, and are holding a 10-year treasury $50,000 at 5%. I love that. Okay. His Social Security benefit, $1,900 at age 62, $3,000 at 67, $3,800 at 70. Wife's benefit, $1,900, $2,700, $3,300 respectively. The pension options as of September 25 are single, meaning his life only. He'll get $68,000. The 50% joint and survivor, meaning if he dies and she survives, $63,000. 100% joint, $59,000. Expenses, $100,000 to $115,000, depending on the cost of travel. No debt. home is bequeathed to a family member. Our remaining assets have named beneficiaries. After retirement, I hope to work with and become a CFP. That's so great. Help me simplify my financial future. Thank you for your valuable direction. Okay, Mark, here we go. So I think you should talk to a fee-only advisor. You can find one by going to NAPFA, NAPFA.org, NAPFA.org. So NAPFA, these are the kind of people who might do a plan only. Now, I think that you're going to really want to be part of this process. And when you talk about analysis paralysis, I think what's interesting to me is I don't see that it's almost like it's impossible for you to screw this up. I'm serious when I say that. You both have income, you both have pensions. My guess is that when you run these numbers and you create a plan, you will find just that. You can do exactly what you want. I am not sure why anybody would have 17 to 21 funds in any of these accounts. You know, gang, it's really like, it's overdue. It's overdoing it. It's like, you need 3, 4, maybe 5 funds, but that's it. There's not a lot more to do. And you don't have to drive yourself crazy. The planning work is interesting because I think that because you both have pension elections and you have opportunities here to maximize your pension benefits, that it'll be interesting to me to just kind of run through the numbers. Now, I'm just going to ask Mark to jump in here. Mark, do you have an opinion about the pension selection for him? At this point, because remember, the wife's already retired. She gets the 39 grand. My guess is that when running the numbers, that the numbers will indicate that they should wait as long as possible for Social Security. But what do you think is going to be the best choice for the pension for him in 2025?
For me, it's a no-brainer. It's only a $9,000 cut. I am taking the 100% joint and survivor. That leaves him with $59,000 plus her $40,000. That's basically $100,000, which is kind of what they need.
Right, and that's even before we do Social Security. So that's why I think that the Social Security is going to be the no-brainer. Now, here's the only thing to think about. If you decided that you said, I don't really even care, like you probably can run these numbers yourself because you're saying you got analysis paralysis. It's probably not that big a deal. But I don't think anything wrong is going to occur. I probably am guessing that because you have a great interest in this, it could be kind of fun for you to run the numbers yourself. And also, maybe you just fire this other advisor and do it yourself. It's not that hard. And if you have an interest and you're willing to like invest a little bit of time, you'll figure it out. The actual money management, boy, that's the easiest part. And any large institution where you could hold these assets will have an option where there's like a robo advisor, or you could just use some index funds. You can go to any large institution's website and start looking at like just using 4 or 5 index funds and calling it a day. I think you are very close to being there. I'd be interested in running it, but on the other hand, I also wouldn't like kill myself in terms of like, I wouldn't certainly pay 20 grand to have somebody do this. I think you can do this yourself. How about that? And then if you need help, you can always get help. All right. I hope that helps. Okay, this is from Alex, who writes, subject, investment advisor. I use an advisory service from a large firm for most of my accounts, an IRA, a Roth, and a brokerage, and I'm not satisfied. Are there any other firms that I might want to try? Okay, here's my big question for you, Alex. Are we talking about plain old investment management, or are we talking about an actual financial advisor? And again, gang, when you're telling me I need to find an advisor, my first question is going to be, what are you seeking? Are you seeking just asset allocation? You can get asset allocation from any large firm. They all have these robo options. And so you should actually check that out. All right. But if you think that you need real financial planning, that's where we start to get into some nuance. Should we be looking at a financial planning service that's kind of cheap along with your money management? Should we be looking at a one-on-one, high-class, dedicated financial advisor for you? And we should maybe talk about what needs you have. If it's just asset management, there are a lot of ways to get that. And if you're not satisfied then you should look elsewhere or think about doing it yourself. I feel like a lot of people, when I say do it yourself, they feel like, oh my God, that's overwhelming. It is okay. I don't know. I just think that that's a very important thing, that you may be able to do this yourself. Okay? I hope that helps. All right. That's it. That is the program. It's Friday, and I love to do some business on Friday. So remember, you can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and web king. And we are distributed by Odyssey. Please try to lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.